Hi, I've got Joomla uh, installed here with JCB, Joomla Component Builder 2.5.6. I've got quite a lot of components that I have imported from another JCB, and basically all of it is working. If we were to look inside of them, it really looks the way that it should and is expected. Now, Joomla has conveniently decided to get rid of this repeatable field which pops up into a little modal, and so we have systematically been removing this field from JCB. Just to show you, we've already done that in other areas of JCB, like in the language area. If we were to open any of these language strings, you'll see that we already have the repeatable field set up here. Now, this would have been as simple as changing the field type within JCB to achieve. The only reality is that the compiler, as well as one other feature, which is the Joomla components can be exported in JCB packages and imported. And so these features are mapping into these component concepts, the field structures, really how the data is stored in a JSON by the repeatable fields are different from how it's being stored in the subform fields. I'm not going to go into explaining what the difference is. There is actually a few tickets been open on GitHub about this, and so we have taken on the task of just porting all of this. With this next release, which is JCB 2.5.8, the whole admin view area will now be moved over to this new form, subform layout. So if I was to open an admin view now, it basically has the old repeatable field concept as you would have learned with all the tutorials we've done. So your permissions is one of those, the tabs, the fields, the conditions, the linked fields, and then you have a list of the fields that are linked to the admin view, and you've got some custom buttons you could set up, and it's also a repeatable field, as well as linking a SQL, clicking on table. This is also a repeatable field in a modal. So all of these different fields are now going to be moved to subfields. Because of space and statistics, we will move some of these fields into tabs, and we'll try and do it in a way that seems obvious and that you wouldn't feel lost. So just up front, the fields, this fields button are going to be moved to the fields tab, and so does the conditions move there. There will be a new tab called settings, so basically this tab will stay there, and we'll call that details, and a new tab with settings, and the rest of the repeatable fields that remain on this side will be placed there. Okay, so that's just a little heads up on what's going to happen, but this is going to happen really without you doing much. Basically all you need to do is upgrade, and we have added a number of scripts that you can actually go and look at on GitHub if you like. As I'm doing this recording, the staging branch is where you will see these changes. So basically, if we were to go to the script, this is the script that will convert the fields and all the tables and everything. So let me just go down to that area. So here we have a function inside of a method, more like an anonymous function, and basically this is what converts the repeatable fields. So we'll be using this function over and over. As you can see, we've done it with upgrades to version 2.5.5, and then there's another upgrade with 2.7, which was not really released because having made this change, we still need to convert the repeatable fields, and that will continue to run until 2.5.9. Now, the way it does this is it really targets the various up here, there's the convert repeatable function. It targets all these fields, as you can see, inside the admin view, and it passes it over to this convert repeatable, which is really going to do the work. And this function is, like I said, you can look at it over here. If you are uncertain of doing this, you can come and look at this function here, and I will now also demonstrate that it actually does work well. The only thing that I have actually noticed is, like with this website that we are working on here, we're talking about thousands of values, well, even more than thousands, and I have found that it sometimes does not convert every single value. And so because of that, we actually did another fix, which goes beyond and ensures that this upgrade will not cause any internal conflicts. And that is within the backend and within the model. There are a few places where these new fields will now exist. One of them is conditions, field conditions, and the other one is admin fields. So I'll open that one, I'll open this one, and obviously in not that one, it's this admin view. These are the models in which these field changes will take place, and you will see that within the get item method, at the very end of this method in the admin view, we added a function which would basically check if these fields were updated during the upgrade, and if it were not updated, that is while the field is busy loading and you're opening the page, it'll check whether it's been updated. If it's not updated, it will actually do the update and add it to the update object, and then basically check every field all the way down to here. And then if it sees that there has been any one of those fields found to be ready to update, then it will run the update, and after that it will never do it again, because you see the way the array is constructed, this will no longer exist once it's been moved to a subform storage. The subform array structure is different. So once you open any of the items, it will automatically convert it and ensure that it's converted. The other thing that we've done, because you most probably will not all open every view or every admin view, is even when the new admin's fields, we've done the same. So you can see here in the admin fields, we are also making sure that that update is there. And the same with the admin field conditions, it's also there. But then there is one more place where we also add these checks, and that's actually in the compiler. So even if you didn't go and open any of these views, and you just went straight to the compiler and tried to compile any of your components, the compiler obviously now been adapted to instead actually use the new subform structure within its compilation. So within the get file, where most of these subforms are now needed, we have in the get admin function, let me just get there. So here's the get admin view method or function, class method, and you see we are checking whether it's still in a repeatable field, and if it is, we convert it. And we again store it to the update object, that while it's getting this one admin view at the very end, so everywhere it's doing a check. If it's not been converted, it converts it, sets it back to the data set, and also to ensure that we store it back into the database, this little string. And so it goes on doing it everywhere where we expect to find values that still may have been missed. And then here at the very end of this function, which is a little big, I suppose, if we found that there are any updates, we run the update, and after that, that view has been updated and it will never need to be updated again. So these are the kind of switches, or how can I put it, fixes really, that we put in place when you already have a JCB with an horrendous amount of data and it is just too big to do just with the normal install. Then all these admin views will be updated and adapted as you start using JCB, and you should not really anywhere at any time experience any conflicts. In fact, if you do, the reason for me making this tutorial is that you can actually get into the code and that you can open an issue on GitHub and give me a heads up so I can patch whatever you find and push it out to the rest of the community. Okay, so that was just the code side of things. Now getting back to our install here, I think what I'll do is I'll just open maybe this admin view, and then I'm gonna go and basically install the upgrade. I'm just gonna select it. It's not been released yet, so this is a pre-demonstration just to ensure everything works. So if it doesn't, you'll even see that. So let's just select this file from my computer. Okay, there it goes, busy installing it. It should take a while. It's quite a big data set and you can just wait it out. It wouldn't shout at you if it missed certain values. I don't know why it doesn't, but there it goes. Your upgrade's been successful and you are now on version 2.5.8. and if we were to open that admin view, which basically looked like this, and now just refresh it, it should now look like that. So you see it's moved these fields to the side. There's now a settings field, and as you can see, all the data has just been updated and moved to subform values. The same with the tabs, and if we go to field and conditions, there we go. That's how the new field and conditions view looks like. Now, because of many reasons, we couldn't keep the subform fields within the admin view, especially when you start having more than 50 admin fields, which in my case I have quite a few of those. It's not advisable because it actually causes a tremendous slowdown on page load. I mean, imagine each of these lines are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fields. And if you start having a lot of those fields, which you could have up to 800 by the limit we've set, it really takes a long time to load that into the page. Okay, enough about that. How does it work now? Well, you could either click on this edit button here or this edit button here to actually go and edit these and change their values. If you would like to just edit one specific field, you could click on any of these pencil editing links. So for example, if I click on name, it will ask me whether I've saved all my values in this current view, and if yes, I just click OK, and it will now open the name field, and I can now come in here, do any edits that I'd like, and then save and close, or just close out again if I only wanted to get some information. Now back into this area. The same goes with the custom fields. I could click on any of those to edit them, or I could click on this edit here, and it will again ask me if I saved all my work, and then if I did, click OK, and it opens those values right here. A nice new tweak we've added is that it only loads the fields that are actually linked to this admin view, so that you can only target the specific fields, which really makes sense, that those are the fields that need to be targeted with this conditional option. Then you could also create a field, but creating a field will not necessarily add it to the admin view. It will just make it available to you if you were to have, add it by going to admin fields. Oh yes, let me just say this button here and this one here is the same button. It's just this is a shortcut, because sometimes you might have a lot of fields and it's way down there to get to conditions, so we added some shortcuts up here. There's also the tutorial on how to use this, but the tutorial still was made when we had the old fields layout. It should still make sense. I mean, you just need to keep in mind that things changed a little. So you could click here on any of these links to actually open that area where the fields are now found and make the changes. So that's really the new admin fields, and moving away from repeatable fields to start using subforms for all our repeatable concepts is really what this upgrade is all about. There's one heads up which I know is a little different to how things were done previously. Let me just close out of this admin view. Oh yes, I could just mention this. Here is a shortcut to get to the admin fields without opening the admin view and then opening the admin fields. You could click on this right here and it will automatically take you to the admin fields, and you can make changes here, and obviously it's linked to the look area or the look admin view, and the same is true when looking at the conditions there. The second button here is for conditions. The thing that has changed is if you create a new admin view, now you'd obviously add the single record name, the list record name, the short description, and the system name. And that's really all you need to add to save the admin view for the first time. Because the admin view at this stage, it cannot be linked to any fields until it has an ID. Now I might still work on this and try and tune it in a way that when you click the button and if the admin view is not saved, it saves it for you, but I haven't done that yet. So at this stage, since the admin field doesn't have an ID, it's still new because we haven't clicked save even once. You can't link any fields to it. So what you naturally do is just add some name here, and then just save it once. And having done that, if you now go to fields and conditions, it basically says create. So this button here and that one here is the same button. You can click on any of them to do create fields. So if you create a field, say yes, I did save everything, and then you can just click on this plus over here, and there's your first field, and you can start adding fields and tweak them as you would before. And yeah, so there you go. That's the new subform fields for admin views, and that's what this upgrade is really all about. I trust that it will benefit all of us in the future and make it more easier for us to transition into Joomla 4. And thank you for watching.